We now need to pivot to our next panel and with my on cybersecurity. We actually first will have an episode of Innovation Stream focused on cyber, and my colleague Olga Khakova will be running that. Olga, welcome back to the Global Energy Forum.
Thank you so much, Randy. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the Global Energy Forum edition of Energysource Innovation Stream. It is my pleasure to welcome Leo Simonovich, who is the Vice President and Global Head of Industrial Cyber and Digital Security at Siemens, and who's a really dear friend of the Atlantic Council. Today, Leo will discuss how artificial intelligence is the key to unlocking and securing the energy transition. Leo will specifically focus on how AI can improve operations and defend against emerging industrial cyber threats. Leo, we can get started whenever you are ready.
Thanks for having me today, and a special thanks to the Atlantic Council for bringing together people across the industry to talk about the transformational moment we're experiencing in the energy sector. We're witnessing an entire shift in how energy gets produced and delivered as digitalization revolutionizes a century-old business run on analog equipment into a connected, technology-driven industry that acts with internet-like speeds. But this bright future has an Achilles heel: cybersecurity. At Siemens Energy, we believe that to garner the benefits of a clean, competitive, and efficient industry, the energy transition must be secured, and that cybersecurity will be the foundation that upholds this new ecosystem. We published a new report today in collaboration with the MIT Technology Review, which I would encourage all of you to read. It details the power of digitalization and especially artificial intelligence to both enable the energy transition and, as importantly, to secure it. To thrive and survive in this digital environment, energy companies will have to make cybersecurity a core of their business model to protect everything touching the grid or oil and gas infrastructure. And the only way we do this is with emerging technologies like artificial intelligence that didn't exist just a few years ago. Before I tell you why AI is at the cusp of revolutionizing the energy industry, let's talk about what's driving the change and how to make these new solutions viable. In 2020, BP unexpectedly announced that they would ramp down oil and gas production over the next 10 years and transform themselves into a digital energy company operating across industrial sectors. This was a bold move for a major oil and gas company, but they're not alone. Across the industry, companies are reacting to market pressures and technological change driven by competition, and of course, the need to reduce emissions and move to zero carbon economy. So what's enabling historic oil companies to transform into electrification, clean energy, and more broadly, energy companies? In one word, digitalization. Digitally connected energy assets, controlled by operational technology and networked with information technology, are enabling energy companies to automate systems and control assets remotely, resulting in dramatic operational efficiencies and the establishment of an interconnected ecosystem of renewable and low or zero carbon technologies. The catch is that cybersecurity is the energy transition's Achilles heel, as I mentioned before. And as energy companies' business models require digitalization to power industrial equipment, they become increasingly vulnerable to cyber attacks. So, in my view, their resilience in cybersecurity against cyber threats will be critical in ensuring trust and providing stability against unplanned outages, or worse, major safety events. That's why cybersecurity is quickly becoming a competitive advantage in the digital ecosystem. And smart energy sector leaders will increasingly put cybersecurity at the center of their business model. So how do we place cybersecurity at the core of the energy companies business models while also ensuring the benefits of digitalization. At its most basic level, oil and gas companies are incapable of defending what they can't see. They lack the visibility and context to protect the energy industry's digital energy assets. Until recently, energy companies face significant technical and economic challenges to monitor, detect, and stop cyber attacks across billions of data points generated from connections and commands made each day between physical energy assets, their control systems, and the IT networks. But this is changing. New AI-based solutions can give companies the context and visibility needed to both stop attacks before they execute and also optimize operations and manage big data. Detecting OT attacks requires continuous monitoring to scan for possible threats and greater context to quickly understand the nature of possible cyber attacks. The challenge facing energy companies is that this always requires corralling information from mismatched sets of new and retrofitted equipment across a vast operating environment. And this information or data streams all speak different languages, and none were engineered originally with cybersecurity as a design feature. So identifying and contextualizing cyber threats is a Herculean task to perform. The volume of data produced each minute couldn't be solved with manpower alone, especially for small and medium-sized energy companies, which lack budgets and in-house personnel. At Siemens Energy, we've come up with a methodology and technology powered by artificial intelligence called process security analytics that helps unify IT and OT data into a single threat stream by creating a common language between digital and physical assets. With this unified threat stream, energy companies can now feed data across from the field into a centralized and standardized format powered by AI to quickly prioritize alerts and begin appropriate response for a range of threats. And this methodology sits at the heart of our new service, Managed Detection and Response, or MDR for short, powered by our EOS monitoring platform, which is designed for energy companies to proactively detect and prevent cyber attacks, providing a unified picture of anomalous behavior for defenders with actionable insights to stop attacks. AI tools that automate monitoring and that leverage human analysts offer major benefits to the industry. Machine learning allows algorithms to recognize differences between normal operations and warning signs that an attack may be at an early stage. Smarter alerts and automation free up human analysts to investigate anomalies and assess likely intent of attacks before they occur. Just as importantly, making OT cybersecurity is affordable and outsourceable for small and medium-sized companies from becoming the weakest link is another central challenge for us. So, how do we get out of our comfort zones and accelerate this transition? In my view, securing the new energy landscape will be the most important challenge facing oil and gas companies in the coming years. But there are reasons to be confident. Historically, the energy sector has done a good job of reinventing itself. Technology and business models arise, and today is no different. In the past, oil and gas companies competed on safety and reliability, and now must compete on security too. And today, oil and gas companies are increasingly partnering with companies like ours to arm themselves with expanding toolkits of AI-driven tools for visibility and monitoring to practically defend the entire operating environment and to deliver on its promise. This wasn't the case just a few years ago. If the industry can embrace cybersecurity as its core function, it will both realize new business possibilities and secure the new energy future.
Thank you, Leo. That was fantastic. And congratulations on the new report. You just spoke about how AI and cybersecurity could become a source of competitive advantage for companies. Can you explain how that will benefit customers and public at large? And what's the best way for companies to convey how their cybersecurity investments translate into value for the relevant stakeholders?
Yeah, great question, Olga. So very simply put, cyber attacks erode trust. In the new energy system, which will become more distributed and decentralized, energy flows and more importantly, data flows will become bidirectional, continuous, and hyper intelligent. Asset owners that we interact with already rank and reward suppliers based on their cyber maturity. By placing cyber at the core, though, companies will not only build trust, but unlock benefits of being part of a trusted community or an ecosystem that can enable continuous connectivity, real-time analytics, and ultimately a safer and better optimized, more reliable and greener flow of supply. Those companies that can demonstrate leadership on security by deploying the most advanced AI solutions for security that make asset owners meaningfully safer, in our view, will rise to the top of the pack.
Excellent. Let's talk about what role the government should play in helping accelerate the adoption of AI for security. What's the ideal balance between voluntary initiatives and government mandates?
Yeah, so the US government, so I sit in Washington, D.C., and if you look at the US government, it historically has been the early incubator for some of the most impactful innovations of our lifetime. This was true for renewables, and this could be true for industrial cybersecurity too. AI applications for industrial cybersecurity are now mainstream, as we talk about in the report. But yet to achieve the necessary scale required to protect the energy sector, they're just not there yet. And this is where the government can help by helping foster public-private partnerships, providing scale-up capital, incentives, and sensible guidance. The scale-up capital in particular could benefit small and medium-sized energy companies looking to partner with industry and security companies looking to focus and build solutions specifically for our energy sector.
Got it. You touched on this in your presentation. Unlike larger companies with greater resources, smaller companies struggle to build monitoring and detection capabilities. How do we make AI affordable and scalable across the industry and ensure that the smaller companies don't become the weak links across the energy network?
Yeah, great question. So this is a real challenge for our sector. We are only as good as our weakest link, yet many of the attacks that we've observed recently started with smaller players and then cascaded out into the whole energy system. It's imperative that we help secure our interdependence on one another. So in our view, the best way to help meet the needs of these smaller companies is to understand their constraints and then build industrial cyber solutions from the ground up that meet their economic and operational needs without compromising efficacy and quality. This is exactly what we set out to do when building our monitoring offering, to provide the power of analytics at a big company scale. So for us, this meant creating AI capability that worked autonomously in the field without connectivity to home base or cloud, and didn't require frequent updates, but also to build first of its kind industrial cybersecurity operation centers, where small customers can get the expertise without needing to build this capability in-house.
Fantastic. Leo, thank you so much for shining light on this really important topic, which often gets left out of the energy transition discussions.